of the things I say in this book is, if you hang around 9 broke people, I guarantee you'll be the 10th. So who are you hanging around? If you hang around, I'm a businessman because I hung around business people. I hung around that banker. My father wore a suit. I loved myself because my mother told me to. So there's only one reason to go to Harvard, really. Harvard's a wonderful university, but you don't pay 5 times more than your state university to go to Harvard just because you're going to become 5 times smarter, because you won't be 5 times smarter. So why do you go to Harvard? Only one reason, Chris. You go to Harvard because the class of 2018 is going to hook each other up for the next 40 years. It's a club. That's it. And the world is full of these clubs, which is why you have idiots and fools running countries and companies and brilliant people who are homeless. It's not just about how smart you are. It's also about your relationship capital. If you think about how we got connected, I don't know how we got connected, but my guess is at some point there, the connective tissue was a relationship. Somebody you trusted, a PR firm, a colleague, whatever. Very few folks just call out of the blue and say, and get me actually on the phone or get you on the phone to do an interview. Right. You need to trust you need to trust the source that's bridging you to the source you're talking to. Nobody's going to go get some surgery done for their child based on an internet search. They're going to say to their neighbor or somebody who else had surgery, hey, did you like that surgeon to work on your kid? Do you have somebody you can refer me to? Our whole life is really filled with relationship capital, but we take it for granted. So why doesn't that relate to business? It absolutely does. So if somebody doesn't respect you, like you, admire you, feel comfortable with you, you can have the best idea in the world. They're not going to do business with you. It's just not going to happen. I mean that I can't guarantee you that being positive will make you a success. Reading the memo is going to make you a success. But I guarantee you that if you're negative and you throw your hands up, you're going to absolutely fail. I guarantee you're going to fail. Because nobody, simple rule, wants to be around a negative person. No successful person I know wants to be around somebody who's toxic. I cleanse my whole environment, once a month. No notice goes out. I don't go tell everybody. I just quietly let people who are pains in the rear end and who are negative and toxic that I happen to run into, they just don't hear from me anymore. And their phone call just doesn't get returned by me, gets returned by the vice president now, or gets returned. But the minute I'm in a conversation with somebody and I hear them sort of go left on me a little bit, I put them now in a whole new category. I say not a word to them. But now they're not meeting with the CEO. They're now meeting with I may let them down easily. So they meet with the senior vice president, and then next time they meet with the vice president, and then at some point they're meeting with the office manager, whose job it is to keep people off of me, basically. But this is, people may get angry at what I'm saying. This is the way of the world. You cannot go through life with a chip on your shoulder, not because you don't earn it and that you don't have a right, but that nobody cares. Chris, what your people should be listening to, or asking themselves right now, is I thought that this was a Money Matters show. This book is supposedly was emerged as the #1 bestseller in the country, actually in the world, on budget and management, which it did, and it's still a bestseller. But the guy hasn't one financial principle. He hasn't talked about 401ks. He hasn't talked about it exactly right. Those are tactical issues. Those are issues of the intellect, and they're important. But that's not what defines whether you actually will be successful or not in life. You can get rich and still not be wealthy. You can win the lottery and be broke in 5 years. Look at all the NFL players, NBA players, who have these amazing contracts, but their mindset's not right. I can give a homeless guy $1 million out of sympathy, and he'll be broke in 6 months. Because I didn't have the empathy to say, I got to bring you along with a new sort of rationale and a new mentality to take your life back.
One of the things you mentioned, nobody wants to be around negative people. It can be one of the most difficult and hard things if you have friends, family members that are toxic and you're trying to get rid of them. But you mentioned cleansing it. It can be one of the most liberating things to do that. It can be difficult, but it is one of the most liberating things that you can do.